The top-ranked promoter Bob Arum noted that while Terence Crawford is a fine talent, his marketability hasn't matched his economic demands. Whether that changes now that Terence Crawford has beaten Errol Spence remains to be seen, but it's obviously not a good sign, and there's no interest from fans in seeing a second fight between them. If the rematch bombs on pay-per-view, it will leave Crawford in a bad position to get the Canelo Alvarez fight that he's been hoping to get. Why would Canelo want to fight Crawford if he can't sell? Terence Crawford, talent versus marketability. What's going on, y'all? This your boy Get a Mic. Much love, peace, and blessings. Welcome back to Gym Boxing with another video. And I want to get in here and give my thoughts and opinions and ideas, and let's just get in here and discuss this whole Terence Crawford situation with the way Bob Arum feels about his talent, but also he feels that his marketability is too low. I want y'all to let me know how y'all feel about that down in the comment section. Is it true, or is Bob Arum just hating, man? But let's get right into it, right? That is to say that the unbeaten former 3-division world champion Crawford hasn't brought in the money to match the money he has made, and Arum says his company lost revenue on his fights. Arum said to Fight Hub TV that his company, Top Rank, has lost a lot of money when Crawford was winning titles, impressing but failing to be commercial successful. Bob Arum says, "We lost a lot of money promoting his fights, and I wish him well, but I'm not prepared, or my company is not prepared to take these risks." Because, hold on, pause right there. To take these risks, yeah, you better be talking about your company, because Mr. Bob Arum is like about 2,000 years old, all right? So I don't know how much risk he needs to be worried about taking. My boy need to hurry up and get it popping, boy. Time is ticking. But isn't it ticking for all of us? But anyway, he goes on to say, at least with Terence, it never worked out economically. Even though when you look at his performances, they were brilliant and still brilliant. Again, Terence did extraordinary good fighting Spence. He did very well economically, but if you ran it back and had Terence Crawford fighting Spence again, I really don't believe it would do anything like the numbers in the first fight. And Bob Arum, he usually has he usually makes a little bit of sense when he talk, man. But the points that I want to make in this video is that, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, is Bob Arum not a promoter? Was he not Terence Crawford's promoter? Which means his job is to promote his fighters. Now, Terence Crawford has shown to be nothing short of amazing in his performances. He's always put up top tier performances, knocking guys out, scoring accomplishments after accomplishments after accomplishments, undisputed, grabbing belts here, moving through the weight classes, just doing things spectacularly. So I don't see really the problem for Bob Arum when it comes to Terence Crawford. Now, he's saying that he's lost a lot of money, promoting Terence Crawford. Now, wouldn't that be Bob Arum's fault in this situation? When you are the promoter and it is your job to promote your fighters to the world, to let the world know how seriously impressive this guy is. And it's like, you can blame Terence Crawford in certain instances when it comes down to his marketability and whether or not he does good numbers and things of that nature. You can blame him for the simple fact that Bob Arum is part of the problem when it comes to the promotional issues. We know Bob Arum has a lot to do with why Terence Crawford wasn't promoted correctly, right? Excuse me, in his company. So Terence Crawford probably is at fault by, signing with Top Rank again. We know he was with Top Rank for a while, but who knows with the business aspects of this thing? Who knows what really was in the contract? Who knows if, what the problem was, why he had to re-sign with him again? He probably still owed him some money and had to fight, to finish paying him off. So there's no telling what exactly was the situation. But what we do know is that Terence Crawford is a phenomenal fighter. We do know that Terence Crawford has lived up to every single expectation that he was given up to this point. And then when he got put on the biggest stage possible up against one of my favorite fighters, Errol Spence Jr., he came out there and he closed the show, put on a spectacular performance. And what more can Bob Arum ask for besides a fighter that's going to come out here and win impressively night in and night out when he gets out there under the bright lights? What more can Bob Arum ask for? So it says Arum views the 36-year-old Crawford as a great talent, but feels his marketability doesn't match his ability. Crawford has failed to become the crossover star that he needed to be for his events to bring in a lot of buys. The second fight with Spence will likely be a disaster, given that the two are heading straight into without Errol redeeming himself. And it says, let me see. Where was I here? Okay, yeah, without Errol redeeming himself against some of the big names at 147 and 154, Spence's popularity might be the main reason why this mega fight with Terence Crawford did well last pay-per-view, but now that he's been beaten, fans don't want to see a rematch. Now, in my personal opinion, man, I think I talked about this before. Man, that fight with Terence Crawford was, if you're an Errol Spence fan, it was disastrous. Okay, it was very painful to watch. You know, that's no shade against Terence Crawford. I think he's a phenomenal fighter. He did what he was supposed to do. But to see the way in which Errol Spence Jr. lost that fight, I'm pretty sure a lot of people was really, really hurt after that fight. They thought, okay, maybe if Terence Crawford wins, he wins. But to win in that fashion, man, that lopsided of a fight, man, was it hard to watch. And you know, I have to imagine a lot of people, you know, believe the fight is basically going to be exactly the same the second time around, man. But I have to imagine that Errol Spence has to come out and do something differently in this next fight. I mean, I understand Terence Crawford has the great advantage to possibly win this fight. He's looked at to be the better, more skillful fighter. And most likely he'll probably win when they get back in there. But you have to imagine that second fight going to have to be different. Has to be different. So it goes on to say here that as for Crawford, he could slip back into fighting pay-per-view events that will fail to produce big numbers unless he gets lucky and is given the Canelo fight that he's been asking for. Most fans believe it would be a bad idea to stage a rematch between undisputed welterweight champion Crawford and Errol Spence after the way that Terence easily handled him last July in the 9th round knockout. Yep. So, I mean, you know, it's one of them situations where most people, they're going to say, hey, man, I don't think we need to see that fight again, you know. And, you know, you'll be justified in saying that. I get it. But my thing is, I don't see no way that the fight can be the same. I feel like Errol Spence will have to come out, do something differently, man. He'll have to come out and try to outbox him, you know, try a different, you know, like when he fought Mikey Garcia and when he fought Ugas. Even when he fought Lamont Peterson. I mean, all of these different fights, Errol Spence Jr. in the past has showed that he has the ability and has the talent to really get in there and really box, man. I don't understand what that was all about. I know Terence Crawford is probably just leagues above him, but I don't know, man. That thing looked weird to me. You know, I thought maybe, you know, Errol Spence would have did things differently. I thought maybe he would have, you know, chose a different game plan, you know, switched things up, but it looks like he kept doing the same thing over and over again and it wasn't working, man. So, you know, you got to kind of look at the trainer at some point as to what was Derek James having him do out there. But, you know, it was just, you know, the better man won on that night, man. But I think it's Bob Arum's fault why, you know, his marketability is like that, top rank. I mean, I don't see, you know, why it couldn't be better. I mean, there was on ESPN. I mean, that's like the largest sports network, right? Or one of them. So I have to say it's Bob Arum's fault, and it is what it is on that, man. But y'all let me know how y'all feel down in the comment section. Do you think it's Arum's fault? Do you think it's Errol Spence's fault? Do you think it's Terence Crawford's fault? Let me know how you feel, man. I just wanted to drop in here and give y'all another video. Much love, peace, and blessings, and I'll be back with more content here shortly. Peace out, y'all.